Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we have another community members build. It is from skills. The build is up on the screen right now if you want to have a look at it. And what happened is we've actually deviated from that yet again because I thought of something a little bit better. It's only one skill that we're changing this time, but you know, skills, the main runes that we were using was multicast mastery, synergetic, war tank, and improved repertory. Then we were left with the versatility runes to be our own. So originally it was skill mastery. The skills wanted us to take fan of bombs with double slash, heart-rending strike, and scent of blood. We aren't taking fan of bombs. I don't think it's that necessary for the build. We go endless refill, and then we're taking on guard. Now the reason for the on guard is because our skills like Ice Vortex and Frozen Warhammer, especially Ice Vortex, are quite slow. So it first applies the slow and then it procs it. And because of that, and because of Frozen Warhammer dealing damage per stack, Exposed actually works a lot better than it's Brittle, and that allows you to push that a little bit further. So let's get straight into it. We are using his second weapon, which I've actually leveled up. Oh my gosh, let me just find the details over here for you guys. So we got a plus 17 of his Scepter of Frost. That is what we're using for the cast frequency and the crit chance. So we don't need to actually get any crit you know, anywhere over there either, so that's fantastic. Straight into it. We are going to be playing over here. You can see we do not have the Void Presence active, so we have everything as a bonus, and we don't play with the Void Presence as much anymore. It's not necessary to do it, and this allows us to go completely AFK without worrying about dying. Now, we didn't go unconventional start because we needed to run Skill Mastery Thrust. If we were playing the original build, we would have done unconventional start instead of Skill Thrust, and that would have allowed us to start with maybe Heart-Rending Strike or whatever the case may be. Now, the reason we go Elementalist with the build like this is, one, we want Frozen Warhammer and we don't have to worry too much about the skills that we're using, and two, we want to have all those negative effects like you can see on the screen already, which we get access to because of 1 hour Ascension, and also two, because of our skill tree. The Elementalist has access to a very huge variety of debuffs, and that's what this build is going to be based on. We are going to be pulling a whole lot of what's the wording I'm looking for, Dissaray out from under the sheets for this build, and we are already not doing too well in terms of getting the skills that we need over there. So that's just fantastic, you know. Just lovely that we're not getting what we want. This doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's rather irritating. Alright, grab some lethality. Thank goodness we got a heart-rending strike. Heart-rending. Now, when I originally did the Overlord series with the Elementalist, we ran Avalanche because of the fragility and the slow that it procced, and as you can see, we do have Heart-Rending Strike now, which also provides us with Finesse and Bulwark, which makes it a much better alternative to that. But when we did the Overlord Cycle Challenge, we weren't allowed to use Singular Focus or any of the Skill Mastery skills, so we weren't able to get, you know, any of the swing skills or the thrust skills on our character, and we had to make do with the skills that we had on the character already. So over here we actually want both the Burn Too Slow and the Shredding Armor. That's beautiful. Here's our Frozen Warhammer. Multicast is also really good, but we also want that Sub-Zero. We also want that Touch of Ice. So we're gonna keep doing things like that. And luckily we have endless refills, so we're not too worried about not having rerolls or locks going further into the run as well. And then what we're going to do is we're doing the first run, so you can see me get all the weapons that we need, all the skills that we need, sorry. And then we will obviously fast forward at the very end to see just how far it is that we can get with this. I'm not going to go all the way to like Overlord 12, 13. It does take a really long time to eventually get past those. I don't think it's necessary. If we can get to like 10, 11 and do them really quickly, then that's also really good for us as well. It's a good indication of where this will lead to. Over there I could have locked the poison, I probably should have. but I didn't. I do want Earth Shield, so we might just take Earth Bolt, so we've got the Earth already, but no. Okay, we'll just take Lightning Surge for now. They're slow to Dissaray, so we've already started on a good spot. And we can also grab the Blizzard, so we've got the the area. There's Double Slash, beautiful. Grab those. There's Earth Shield, beautiful. So I mean, it's slowly coming together. Lucky I get a bit RNG over there with the skill upgrades that we're getting. We're just waiting for the Ice of Vortex. Having Frozen Warhammer also means it's possible that you don't need the Ice of Vortex. You could run Blizzard as well for the more damage, but Ice Vortex works very, very well, so we're going to grab it. It does proc quite a lot of slow stack, so I think it's a good option. And you know, we'll try and stick to what the build that Skills wanted us to run on the character as much as possible, and not worry too much about everything else. So critical hits now apply poison, we do want that as well, but the main focus is actually going to be on Dissaray now. So we're going to be focusing on getting Dissaray as much as possible, along with every other debuff in the game as well. And let's see where we can go. Area of effect's good, cooldown is good, and we are, potency is very good, and we want some bulwark for the defense. Also, we didn't check it, but we're sitting on 160 crit chance and a 300 crit damage. Again, that is because of our weapon. As you saw in the very, very beginning, we landed up with 96% crit chance from the weapon itself. So getting that nice, juicy, easy crit is so good when you level up those weapons. It just makes things a whole lot easier. Alright, we have 4 more levels, 5 levels now actually. In case you're wondering how I have 5 levels and I'm not leveling up, if you go to the settings and you see over here, auto level up, I have it unchecked. So I disable it so that I can stack my levels, so that when I'm ready to, I'm able to access it and do it from there. We're going to go there, Dissaray, we're still waiting for one more skill. I do like this Leviathan, so I am going to take it, and we will land up grabbing more movement speed as we progress further. Right now we don't need the movement speed because we've got 1 dodge, which is more than enough, and our damage is more than enough to keep us alive and safe. And as you can see, we're not really taking much damage either, and even if we do take damage, we have healing from the Earth Shield, so I'm not too worried about the movement speed. I mean, you can see everything just dies. We took a little bit of damage there. We've got quite a bit of bulwark as well, so we're actually in a really good spot over here in terms of what our damage is and what we do, so not too worried about that. We want the Dissaray over there. Getting more slow is also really good because that's going to help us with what's the wording I'm looking for? That's going to help us with the Frozen Warhammer's damage. Obviously, you do want a lot more damage over there, so the more that we can get in terms of slow stacking will be very good. So when we're not stacking a Dissaray, we can also stack the slow. The actual debuff of the slow, that enemies are slowed down, is only capped at, I think it was 50 or 60% now. One of the two. I mean, it's a very low cap, but it's just so that the enemies aren't snails in the game, and then they can still actually reach you, because otherwise that would just be hectic. I would like to try and turn this into an elementalist farming build somehow. I think the best way to do it with the farming build would be to use my Overlord cycle build that we used. Maybe change a couple of things here and there if possible, but we don't have the runes, the slots to do that in the versatility runes, unfortunately, so we're not able to swap anything out or in, and we kind of just got to use what we want, because we need the material harvester and the efficient extractor if you want to farm the minerals and things like that. So we would like to have those. If we can't get them, then we need to try and find a build where you can get very far and use those very fast. It needs to be far and fast. You don't want to spend 50 minutes trying to get to like Overlord 10 on a build for farming. whereas we only want to spend about 20 minutes, get all the materials we want, get the diamonds because that's what I need for the third weapon upgrades, and it tends to be that I like the third weapon on nearly every single character, so I'm stuck trying to get all those skills for those weapons all the time. I mean, that's why I'm running out of diamonds. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's why we need diamonds. That's why I've been farming the Frozen Wastelands. There is actually some stuff I need from the Whispering Woods as well, so the fact that we do Overlord cycles is actually a good thing because we're able to get from any of the maps as well, and that can help us. And I actually need like common materials from Whispering Woods as well, so very easy stuff to gain, and very easy stuff to have access to because it's the common material. So there's the run, 5 minutes 56. Like I said, we will go into some Overlord with this, so stay tuned, sit back, relax, and we're gonna just do a little bit of editing magic, and I'll see you now. I've decided to show you everything from before we go into Overlord Cycle 8. Now the thing with the build is we have been really unlucky. We have only picked up a small amount of potency for Scent of Blood. We're only sitting on 200%. I've also been struggling to get a little bit of cast frequency for it. Although we don't need the cast frequency because of the swing chain, so we actually land up, you can actually keep an eye on it and you'll see that we land up casting it before the cooldown is already up, so that's okay. But we're not getting a lot of cooldown. I mean, you can see 0.4 is actually really good. We'll see what it goes to when we got Scent of Blood up. Getting our Heart Rending Strike and our Double Slash at 0.2 will be the best thing, because that's going to allow us to hit the maximum bonus for Scent of Blood as quickly as possible, because it works off finesse stacks. And then the other thing is that we don't have a lot of armor. Now we're only sitting at I think when we've got Ascensions up and all that stuff, we land up with about 44% I think it was, or maybe 50 now. Our block power, we go up to 93%, so we're not worried about that. So we do have to work on getting a bit more potency on Scent of Blood and more armor. We've just been really unlucky with upgrades. We do have a lot of Dissaray, which is what we wanted, and we did get 2 more dashes as well, which is really good. Now one thing that we did speak about before previously, and maybe you didn't watch that video or whatever the case might be, or you skipped over that part, which I totally get, is that we want the developers to put it so that the enemies' AoEs and effects are over ours. Now why is that important? Well, with builds like this, as you can see, Ice Vortex takes up quite a lot of the screen, and as you can see, we can't see the negative effects that are on the floor, so we can't see the red lines. So if we could make it that the enemies or the bosses' red lines at least are over our abilities, that could really help, instead of going and making our visibility too. A good way to do it is to keep it so that the enemies' AoEs are on top of ours. I know it's possible, there are games that do it already, but that could be one thing, for people that want to play with the visibility all the way up. I mean, some skills are just really good looking and you do want to keep them up. But as you can see, we're on Overlord Cycle 8, and as we need to just focus on the bosses, turn the auto aim off and just hit them with everything. Our Frozen Warhammer doesn't have a lot of AoE, so it's not like a massive screen size, but Ice Vortex is doing quite a bit of work for us. Multicast is really good, Laugh is really good, cast frequency, again we're sitting on 0.3 with our Scent of Blood, which to me, like I mentioned, we do want it to be on 0.2 because that's where we're going to get the most out of it. And we can even go, see, we don't really need, that gives us Bulwark, which is block power, and Form for crit, but getting the damage over there is probably a lot better. So we did turn down the graphics just so we can see the area of effects, but I would like, for that to change, I would love to play with the graphics all the way up so that we can just see everything that's going on. Now we do have quite a lot of Dissaray. Dissaray is a double-edged sword. The way that it works is you can either land up doing negative damage or you can land up doing a whack ton of damage. So I don't know if you noticed, but these bosses are dying a lot faster than the first set died, and that's probably because of Dissaray. The first set of bosses landed up being hit by quite a bit of negative Dissaray, and then the second set probably had quite a lot of positive disarray on them. So, you know, that's how it works. You can see we're either doing negative 20% damage or we're doing 82% increased damage. We still want more of that disarray to be, you know, in the game for the run. We want to try and get that 85% to be as high as possible. The higher that is, the faster we can kill things. And then you can see that our armor is a problem in the game. As soon as we land up getting hit, we take these huge chunks of damage. So we do want to try and focus on that as well if possible. But of course, going for damage with our Ice Vortex and Frozen Warhammer is going to be very, very good as well. So those are a couple of things to work on. Cast frequency, multicast, the cooldown for Scent of Blood, and everything else if they are too high. Then area of effect. Area of effect's not too big because we're going to get so tanky. You can be next to things. You don't have to worry about the area of effect of them being that high. But we do need the potency for Scent of Blood, and we need the huge amounts of disarray as well as the huge amounts of slow. The one thing I did do, which I probably shouldn't have, is gone for all of the other negative effects. So I should have actually just, there's no point in having the poison, all of those other things. They don't really add, I mean, we'll see how much damage they did, but in totality, I don't think it's necessary, and they'll end up bloating the pool. Although maybe on Elementalist, that's a whole big another story where they'll end up bloating the entire pool, and it might not actually be a really good thing to get them. But there we go. That was it. That was Overlord 8. Pretty quick and pretty easy. You could get much further with this. We did need a bit more armor. Again, we didn't have a lot there. Frozen Warhammer doing more than the Ice Vortex, with On Guard coming third in the damage over there. And then healing, Hearth Shield, fantastic amount of healing over there. And then over here you can see actually Bleed dealing the most amount of damage, with Poison coming second. And then you can see we've got some, you know, Bleed there, Poison, Burn also. We didn't take the Doom, which is weird. I don't know why I didn't take Doom, but what is what it is. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.